Right now, you are looking at two of my favorite phones available right now, the Galaxy S23 Ultra and the Pixel 7 Pro. But there is one really big thing that differentiates these two devices, and it is their peak brightness. With both devices unlocked and their brightness cranked up all the way, it is really clear in person which screen is the brighter, more vibrant display. But guys, I've got really good news to share about the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro because Google is finally addressing this problem. That is because we have another news drop via Android Central and via Camilla Wojciechowski, which I believe is in the ballpark of a correct pronunciation, concerning the displays on the Pixel 8. There are some really big changes coming. Obviously, we've talked about the Tensor G3. We've talked about the pretty big improvements to the camera module, but something we haven't been able to share much about is info on those screens, and that changes right now. Let's scroll down and look at this really nice graphic here. We're going to start with the Pixel 7 versus the Pixel 8. So there's an immediate big change happening here. You guys wanted a smaller phone? Well, you're getting a smaller phone. We're going from a 6.31-inch display to a 6.17-inch display. I think that is a really, really cool thing that they're doing. I love having a slightly more compact phone there next to the Pro model, but there's more than just that. We're getting an increase from 1,000 nits of peak brightness to 1,400 nits of peak brightness. That is a fairly substantial improvement on the base model of the Pixel 8. You can see that the PPI is getting slightly higher and the resolution is staying about the same, but we're also going to 120 hertz. More on the refresh rate stuff later on in this article, which, by the way, there's a link to in the description. Go click on that link and give them a little bit of love for the reporting that they have done here. Really, really good stuff. Let's switch gears, though. Talk about the Pixel 8 Pro, because that's where a really big change is happening that I'm really excited about. So the screen size staying about the same. The refresh rate is staying the same. The resolution is actually going down by a small amount. I don't think it's enough that you're going to be able to really perceive this difference. I believe the Pixel 7 Pro ships in a lower resolution, like full HD mode. You have to manually put it into the high resolution mode. And even then, unless you're looking really closely at it, most people probably can't see the difference. Most people are probably best served leaving it in full HD and saving some battery life, but that may be something that concerns you there. The PPI is actually going down by a tiny amount as well, perhaps saving some battery here and there where they can. But the big change, we're going from 1,000 nits of brightness, not to 14, but actually 1,600. That is a massive change. In the beginning of this video, you saw the 7 Pro next to the S23 Ultra. The S23 Ultra hit 1,750 nits of peak brightness. The Pixel 8 Pro will now be able to get pretty close to that level, and I think will solve that problem for me pretty nicely. Using the Pixel 8 Pro outdoors should no longer be an affair of squinting and trying to see what's going on. It should be plenty bright enough now. Really, really nice. But there's more to talk about. You can see here how the pink phone is actually kind of curved in a bit more. That is because they're rounding the devices off a little bit. They're going to be less squared and boxy than before. You can see this quite clearly on that line there and again there. This might make it better to actually hold physically in your hand. Now, another detail that I think a lot of people are going to be really excited about, in addition to the fact that the Pixel 8 Pro screen is getting a whole lot brighter, it's also no longer going to be a curved panel. According to this article and this reporting, it is switching to a flat panel, just like we have in the Pixel 7. That's going to make, I think, a lot of people very, very happy. There are also supposed to be improvements to the refresh rate. So we already have a variable refresh rate. Let's scroll down and look at the table here. With the 7 and the 7 Pro, obviously it was 90 hertz and 120 hertz, but it could move between different refresh rates, 30, 60, 120, or 30, 60, 90. With the 8 and the 8 Pro, they're adding a whole bunch more options that should allow it to drop into lower refresh rates when not much is going on, and again, potentially save battery. You can see here, 10, 30, 60, and 120, or 5, 10, 30, 60, and 120 on the Pixel 8 Pro. As Camilla mentions here, this can also be used to reduce screen tearing in certain applications. If you can match the refresh rate with the frame rate, you don't get screen tearing like you might be familiar with in certain video games. That's definitely a great improvement as well. So there you go, guys. Lots of big changes coming to the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro screens. A flat screen for the 8 Pro and much brighter screens in both devices, in addition to an enhanced version of a variable refresh rate system that should bring better battery life across the board. I am personally getting more and more excited about these devices as time goes on. Again, do click that link in the description down below to go see this article and see if maybe there's some details I've left out that you potentially would have found interesting. Guys, subscribe before you go so you don't miss any more content like this. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.